I had a bunch of people yesterday say, Trey, why are you imitating Launch Capital? And let me tell you right now, I wish with all my soul that I could imitate that Greek god of a voice, but I am just genuinely sick. I'm not making that up. So nonetheless, I've been sleeping a lot. I haven't been on the computer outside of just some gaming and trying to lay low so I can recover. So I wanted to do something for the last month or so now, and that was go back to my first video that I ever made on this YouTube channel and kind of listen back to it and just compare where things are now compared to then, where I'm at now compared to then, where the community's at now compared to then, the way things have grown. I think it's just interesting to be able to retrospectively look back on where people were in life and kind of reflecting, I don't know, bullshit. So if you're interested in that, that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're not interested in that, that's totally cool too. But the first video that I ever made was about a stock called Veru. Veru was a company that at the time was looking into an alternate treatment method to prostate and breast cancer. And I remember it looked like a pretty good swing trade. You can see by the title here, Veru stock price prediction, $19 price target. And funnily enough, it actually went all the way up to $24.50. So I was off by a little bit. I wasn't quite right on that, but nonetheless, I'm not even interested in that per se. I just like to listen to the video itself and see kind of what we got rocking here.
What is up, everybody?
That mic.
Trey for his first YouTube video on the stock market. So I'd like to preface by saying that I am not a financial advisor, nor do I recommend you take my financial advice. However, I am going to be documenting my journey through the investing world on YouTube. For anybody who'd like to join the journey, just keep following along. The first stock I'd like
to... You know, I listen to the mic now. I still have audio problems. I'm still not freaking super great at mixing and all that sort of dumb shit. I'm just not a tech wizard. I'd consider myself just probably like a Karen for technology. But I was recording that with my PlayStation headset. I remember I didn't have the Elgato right away, and I was like, man, this sounds so good. It sounded fucking awful. But it's interesting nonetheless. I just wanted to say that piece.
Talk about today is Veru Incorporated. Now, Veru is a company who is researching alternate treatment methods to prostate and breast cancer. What is interesting about these guys is the CEO has found a alternate to chemotherapy in the form of a pill. Now, the pill, what you do with this is you take it every day in place of the chemotherapy.
I'm glad that I explained to people why you would take a pill. Now, with the pill, what you do with this, you don't stick it up your rectum. You actually do swallow that via your mouth, and it's supposed to do what pills do, which is help you with whatever the pill is supposed to help with. God.
And the side effects are very minimal, and seems to, according to him and his results, give about the same results as chemotherapy would. Now, I'd like to look at Veru as a company, but first, let's take a look at what the charts are saying. So,
you know, probably the most interesting thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is just like confidence. When I started this YouTube channel, dude, I'll tell you what, I was so uncomfortable. I remember sitting in that seat and thinking to myself, people are going to think I'm the stupidest person on planet Earth. People are not going to watch this. And I remember coming back when this video first came out and I saw it had 15 views or 10 views. And I was like, yes, that is money. I'm so glad that 15 people took the time to watch this video. But that's really been the biggest thing that I've noticed so far is just cadence, my true personality coming out. I don't feel as stiff. I don't feel like I've got to not be me. I didn't do that right off the bat. I was pretty nervous, and I was trying to take, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Penguin Zero. His name's Moist Critical on YouTube. I'm a fan. He's probably my favorite YouTuber on the platform, but I was trying to sort of take his style of like a super monotonous, super monotone sort of approach to the stock market. And I obviously abandoned that and just decided to do me instead, but it's interesting nonetheless.
We're going to go out to a 10-day view. As you can see, 10 days ago, the floor on this was sitting between $3.30 and $3.17. Not a lot of volatility, not a lot of movement happening here. It was hanging around the VMA, the volume moving average, pretty consistently. And there was a little bit of a catalyst. So they released some of the results regarding their research that they'd found with their phase 2 drug, and it shot the price up exponentially. So right now,
exponentially.
And the high here, we're sitting at about $12. You could have 4x your money, so there's a 400% growth on the Veru stock. So you might be thinking, where is the room for growth still? Well, you should not take my advice, like I said earlier, because I'm not a financial expert. But I do think there is a lot of upside, both in the short term and the long term, with this. So, what I like to look
So the one place where I went wrong, obviously, is there was not long term. I'd say like a year plus out growth, at least as of now. I think the stock is currently trading at like $9. I'll just pull this up here really quick. Yeah, 9.73 or so, but it did hit 24.57. So that's an interesting thing. But nonetheless, what I find to be the most fascinating about this is I was so early in my charting sort of education process, and I still had a lot of the same concepts that I utilize now, which is really a fascinating thing to see. A lot of these I picked up from a guy on YouTube. His name was Rainer Teo. I'll drop him in the description box if you want to check him out. But Rainer Teo, I just sat down, I remember, for a month straight, and I watched all of his technical analysis videos through like 3 or 4 or 5 times just so I could understand the concepts to a T. And then what I would do is I would sit at charts like this one, and I would try to apply those concepts to charts as they're moving, not even necessarily trading them, but just seeing how they react to what I was kind of learning on the internet. And it's fascinating. I mean, I really did. This is still a nice setup. I look at this now and it still looks like a nice bullish setup. You've got this higher low sort of stair stepping taking place, and it's flagged out. I mean, at the time, I knew what a flag would look like hypothetically on paper, but it's just really interesting to see, you know, I did not know near as much then as I do now, but it's good to see that those basic concepts are still around, you know.
for with a stock when I'm going to be investing, which I do have a position in this stock, so I have a very biased opinion. The is stair step in lower,
just like I said,
higher lows and higher highs. So you can see here on the 12th, on the 10th of December, that we have a support level sitting around $5 or so, and then the next day we move up at the lowest point here to about $5.10. About below. Today we close 9. So where do I see this going? I think that Veru Incorporated.
You know, this doesn't even sound like me. I'm listening to this, and if my friends were to watch this video when it first came out, they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing, Trey? Why are you talking like that? Why are you not being crazy?" You know, it's a pretty fascinating thing to watch, but I just like listening to this. It makes me cringe a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Rated will continue to grow, and this is why there are very many analysts that have released data on Veru Incorporated. They have mixed price ranges.
See, I was talking about analysts here. Now, I take analysts with a much, much, much larger grain of salt than I did back then. That was actually a bad reason for me to think that this stock was going to go higher, is because an analyst said so. I've actually seen before where an analyst will put out a price target, and what will happen is the price will artificially for a day or two sort of jump up, and then big institutions will unload positions, and then it dumps for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'd view it as actually a strategy for mainstream media and analysts to sort of bag hold retail. And I'd check out the source, right? You want to watch what analysts are, previous predictions are, what their intentions are, who they work for, where they get money from, right? That sort of thing. That's all very important. But it was a good pick nonetheless. There was more upcoming catalysts. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, but hopefully I did. I guess we'll find out.
From $12 to $19. Most recently was the $19 price prediction, and I can see this happening. They released great results on the phase 2 trials. Granted, phase 3 is not coming out until about 18 months from now. The CEO was on the Kramer Tonight Show. That's
I was so naive. Jesus Christ.
Moving forward for the company. Another thing to pay attention to is the amount of volume that's been going into.
Past me makes me want to
So
cough.
if you look back on before the catalyst had grown the stock, it was seeing, 15-minute trade volume of between 6,000 and maybe 2,000 trades. Now, you fast forward a little bit into this range, you can see 344,000 for a 15-minute window.
So this is another one of those basic concepts, and I'm actually pretty happy that I was using in my first video is watching volume. Volume can be a good indicator of sort of unusual or abnormal trading activity, which can give you insight as to when a stock will move. I actually ended up utilizing that in a swing trading strategy as time passed. I would use the 15-day moving average, the 200-day exponential moving average, a small scale trend line, large scale trend line, smoothed out price action, and then volume. And whenever that 15 would cross the 200 to the upside, you know that you're getting a gap in short-term price action. And if that was matched by an uptick in volume as well as an expected upcoming news catalyst, you can take advantage of that. And that's exactly what Veru was at this time. I mean, if you drew up the indicators, I'm nearly certain you would see it, that 15 MA and 200 EMA. And I didn't even know that I was utilizing that is what's the funny thing. So it's always interesting how things kind of adjust and grow as you go along in life.
Here is 8,900,000 trade volume. 3 days ago, you saw a high of 13 million.
Yeah, I get it.
Upwards, more than it already has grown. Another thing that I like about this stock is that you're not seeing these sharp increases followed by immediate drops down to this original $3 price target. You are seeing these stair steps of higher.
I was very repetitive.
Above the DMA.
That's the confidence thing, right? So as you go on in the stock market, and I'm not going to BS anybody, right? At this point, I said it as it was. I said I'm going to be documenting my journey through the stock market. Don't take this as advice. This is me just essentially recording the process and me educating myself, me trying to make money, me trying to do my thing. There was so much for me to learn at this point, and I just didn't have the confidence in that I knew enough to be, the best that I could be. And I still don't think that, right? But as you continue to go, you gain confidence in the things you get right. You learn from the things you get wrong. And at this point, I was still pretty wet behind the ears, It's very interesting to see. It makes me think of like watching, what's a good example? It's like watching a newborn deer trying to walk around for the first couple of days, and it's just tripping around, trying to eat grass. It'll fall over its wiener hanging down to the ground,
Which is a great sign that the bulls are maintaining control over the stock. There are windows of time where we do have the stock being traded under the VMA, but it seems to be outweighed. The bulls seem to have control of this stock, and I do see this shooting up more than it already has. If any of you have a position in this stock, please let me know in the comments down below. I took a position in this stock at about $9.10. I will be selling out approximately around $11.50 to $12. I'll be setting a trailing stop loss at that point. Yeah, that's all I have for Veru.
What the? I said I had a $19 price target, and then I said that I'm going to sell at $12. That's some genius shit. Nothing like leaving room on the table. And I remember this actually pretty strongly. I did end up taking profits at like $12, and I remember looking at the chart later, and I was like, "What the fuck were you thinking, Trey? You dingling! You left so much money on the table." And I guess it is what it is. You learn, you live, you learn. Sometimes you lose. That's just the way things go. But that's basically the entire video. And what I think is the most fascinating about this, and I suppose where I'll close it off, is you never really know where things are going to be 10, 11, 12 months from now. And I'm not even talking about myself and my channel. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. But what I'm the most grateful for is the community. Something that I think is undervalued is that community is a currency, right? It's worth something. It's a leverageable sort of material, and not to objectify community per se, but that is the most difficult thing to do to me in today's day and age. And where things have gone from here until now is really freaking cool to see. I mean, I've just seen the community and all the people involved in the stock market retail apes, everybody that's there, right? They've all educated themselves and learned, and like all the things that I used to believe back here are basically Newton void. You know, it's come and gone, and it's just interesting to see, you know. So who knows where we're going to be a year from now, right? Who knows what stocks are going to be at? Who knows what the community is going to be doing? I like to think good things, but I'm just going to keep putting my freaking nose down and waiting for the day, because ultimately, day by day, what I look forward to the most is my Subway, a good Coke. Not the snortable kind. I mean, you could snort a can of Coke if you want. That's kind of weird. And the community, you know, I just love engaging with people and having a place to call home, and that's what you guys are to me. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Kind of atypical video, but tomorrow you can expect, if I feel better, some sort of AMC stock video to come out. I want to be able to dig into some good stuff. I'll present it to you and we'll move on with our day. So appreciate everybody that watched. Catch you on the next one. Much love. Light taps. Peace.